What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another video here at Domestic Automotive Authority. Today we're going to go over the new 2021 Grand Wagoneer. We're going to talk about some of the key features that are going to be transferred over from the 2021 Grand Cherokee and the Durango as well, and talk about some of the new features that are coming brand new to Jeep. Alright guys, so we've all been waiting for the brand new 2021 Grand Wagoneer. They started teasing us with pictures, concepts back in 2017, I believe, at the Shanghai Auto Show. They ended up releasing the third row vehicle for the Chinese market. It never hit the States. Now, the concept designer for that was actually, I guess it was Yin 2, I don't know how to say his name, but what they ended up releasing was a hybrid model, 7-passenger, basically Wagoneer. So everybody's been looking for pictures, everybody's been trying to get an idea of what the Wagoneer might be, and Jeep, obviously everyone's probably seen this at this point. Jeep released a little snippet showing the Grand Canyon, talking about everything grand. So we're pretty sure that it's going to be a Grand Wagoneer at this point. I mean, obviously they're going to make a Grand Wagoneer. In I think it was 2018, they had actually talked about making a Wagoneer and a Grand Wagoneer. I don't know if that's still on the table now. Obviously a lot of things have changed since then, but it still might be a very real possibility. What we've been trying to make is an ultra luxury vehicle to kind of compare with the Escalades, the Navigator, the GLS, Mercedes, things of that nature, you know. And we really don't have anything yet that can compare full size. Grand Cherokees are absolutely amazing. They win best in class interior, but it's within its class, of course. So whenever we're stepping up here into the ultra luxury with the Grand Wagoneer, I think things are going to change quite a bit, and more than what people expect. And I'll show you some pictures of the concept from 2017 from the Yin 2 concept. Now, some of those pictures, I'm sure they're a little over exaggerated. You know how the concepts are. It's always a little bit more than what you end up getting, but it'll give us a fair idea of what kind of category they're trying to put themselves in with this Grand Wagoneer. I know Jeep's been talking about the 4xe lineup for a while as well, so I'm excited to see if they introduce the 4xe in this Grand Wagoneer. It'd be a perfect time to do it. The 4xe is basically just what Jeep's been trying to do is introduce an electric variation of each model. So to start off with the Grand Wagoneer, it'd be great to really showcase what kind of power it can put out on a heavier vehicle too. Now, they've talked about some of the engines and stuff that they think they're going to see in it. Of course, I'm sure we're going to have the 3.6 liter Pentastar that we've had for forever, as well as I'd like to see a 5.7 option. 5.7 Hemi would be great in one of those, especially with a little bit of the extra added weight. So one of the biggest things whenever it comes down to this Grand Wagoneer is that they've been planning it for quite some time. I mean, they had a 5-step plan laid out in 2017 to bring this thing to the table. Of course, a lot of things have came up. Some setbacks, not major setbacks, I guess. Now, Corona has put a little bit of a toll on Chrysler in general, you know, all of the Mopar family, but for them to come out with it now is making a good statement, you know. They haven't talked about our plant specifically shutting down here recently. There was talk about it in the beginning, but I think with everything the way it's rolling, and from what I've seen in the car business, everything's been picking up. They predicted us to sell 25% of the amount of cars that we usually sell last month, and we sold 112%. So if that tells you anything, I think the market can be what you make of it. Now, if you go in with the sales team and they're anticipating, you know, only selling 25% of what they should, then that's what's going to happen. It's all mindset whenever it comes to that. But I think the public is out and they are buying. They're buying a lot, but you just got to approach it the right way. You know, obviously at this point you kind of got to make it a no-brainer, a really good deal for them to buy. But the opportunities are out there. So for Jeep coming out with this, hopefully here very, very soon. They've been putting out a bunch of the trailers, getting us pretty excited. I think that what we're gonna see here soon is gonna blow everybody away. I mean, the new ultra luxury class for Jeep, I mean, my expectations are very, very high for it, and I think that they can really, they can accomplish some pretty amazing things. Now, price point for these new Grand Wagoneers, we know that the Grand Cherokees start, you know, in the lower 40s, but I know they can. Well, we have the Trackhawk that can exceed 100 grand, you know. So the price range for these, what I'm predicting is for them to come in, you know, near the 50 mark, you know, very, very high 40s. And then as you step up in trim levels, easily achieve the 70 some, 80 grand if you get all the options you want. I think they'll come out with 4 different trim levels to start. Now that's just my guess. They could come out with 1 million like we have for the Grand Cherokee. But I think they're going to hit the 4 main bases here at the start, and then they'll kind of evolve as the time goes on. But for now, I'm pretty excited to see what's going to come of it. I mean, we've seen so many different renderings, so many different concepts, and some of the interior pictures that I think are going to actually end up in it. Now, not the full-blown interior the way it's designed in the concept, but a variant of that for sure. And like I had said before, I think now would be a great time to introduce the electric trim, the electric models for these as well. Now, if you didn't already know, Chrysler actually has a direct link set up on their page to take you to a charging station you can buy off of Amazon. It's $600 for a 240 volt turbocharger. That's what they call it, Turbo DX charger, I believe. And they're really trying to introduce these electric vehicles more and more to stay ahead of the game. Now, in my personal opinion, hybrid is not the best way to go. Hybrid cars for us, domestic brands anyway, they usually don't turn out the greatest, but a full electric vehicle would be really nice to see. I mean, could you imagine the open air capabilities of a Wrangler ripping down the mountain with no noise? Like, it'd be different, you know. It'd definitely be something crazy. The instant torque, of course, higher torque powers. I think for the off-road world, it might be something interesting, you know, as long as they can get the battery life to last long enough. So as we pull back in here at Tri-Cities Dodge, Tri-Cities here in Kingsport, Tennessee, I'm actually going to show you the interior here on the Altitude package that I'm currently driving. Show you kind of what we have right now and what we might end up getting out of all of these. So stay tuned. I'll fill you in here in just a second. So as for what we have on the inside of these rigs, you know, it's a pretty good setup. It's definitely a nice place to be. You've got your full digital tachometer. Of course, you've got some of the analogs there on the side. And then we've got our Uconnect 8.4-inch screen right here. Of course, you've got all of your dual zone climate controls, navigation, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, that kind of stuff. Now, on these, of course, all of them now have the auto stop start button down there. We've got Eco Sport mode on all of them. Our 4-wheel drive, which I think is going to be carried over to the Wagoneer, is your selector switch right here with 4-wheel low, hill descend control, as well as a rock mode right here. On these seats, we've actually got leather with suede inserts, which is definitely a comfortable seat. One of my favorite seats. I even like it more than the full leather. But the interior on these, it's definitely nice. It's luxury oriented, but it's not ultra luxury. So I'm excited to see what ultra luxury is going to look like for these Jeeps. I mean, it's already a really great setup. You've got the wood accents all the way around here, but to take it a step farther, it's going to be pretty impressive. So guys, here's a little bit more of an updated interior from our company. That way I can kind of show you what the ultra luxury class may look like. Of course, we've got our 12-inch screen right here, self-parking mode. You've got forward collision warning, adaptive cruise control, lane assist. You've got the switch on the fly for your gears right there, as well as a full panoramic sunroof, if you can see it right there. Full surround sound system. We've got the luxury interior in this one as well. the full gauge cluster over there, I think this is more along the lines of what we may see in the Grand Wagoneer being an ultra luxury class. Of course, we got our charger built into the console right there, a full floating console, and a lot of great things going on in these, as well as the Harman Kardon sound system. Everything, the way they've got it laid out in these Rams, is pretty impressive. So I think this is more along the lines of what we might see in the ultra luxury class for the Grand Wagoneer. Well, that's it for today, guys. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'm glad to bring you guys this content and these type of videos. If there's any type of vehicle that you'd like to see a video on, especially anything I have here on the lot, please let me know. I'd be glad to make the video for you. But until then, take it easy.